Most of the colleges require GRE and TOEFL, but there are universities that does not require GRE too.
Usually biomedical engineers do internship in hospitals or companies, or also in maybe, I think you have done in IIT Madras, right?
So I actually received a scholarship. So I actually didn't apply. For example, like we need to choose like 3 of the biomedical core courses. That actually depends upon the professors, whether you have an open book exam or closed book. So you have like research institutes or companies or even universities that offer internships. So it's not that expensive. But if you go to New York, California, somewhere, it's pretty expensive. We can work 20 hours per week as per our visa status. Clock starts. So within 90 days, you need to find a job.
But what would be the average salary we can expect after completing our master's?
China, Iraq, Iran. I had a friend from Iran. So everybody is very different. The culture is different. Everybody is very supportive. Being a new person, they all really help me on getting to know more. So about doing PhD, you can actually continue your master's to PhD or convert your master's into PhD.
Hi, today we are having Miss Aliya Anil from United States. She is currently working there and she has completed her master's in biomedical engineering. So probably before starting, I think it would be great if you can introduce yourself about your biomedical journey.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I did my undergrad in Biomedical Engineering College, Kakara, and afterwards I did my master's in University of Texas at Arlington. And currently I'm working as a research engineer at the Barrow Neurological Institute. So over here, what I basically do is I deal with most of the brain MRI images. So the Barrow Neurological Institute is known for the brain tumors. Brain tumor imaging, basically. So yeah, I basically work on the registration, segmentation, and few clinical trials over here. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, actually, I have few questions I received in my Instagram page that include the career, how to plan our higher studies, admission process, different universities and courses, scholarships, coursework, expense, part-time job availability, visa, different job opportunities, salary package, USA life, everything is there. Hopefully, I'm planning to cover all this question. Hope we can do that. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So before moving further, I just want to know regarding this. I usually ask people why you opted biomedical engineering.
So I was not at all aware of a biomedical engineering field. So my father and my sister are doctors, and I actually had a passion for like maths and the mechanical side. So I was actually looking for something which actually a combination of both medicine and engineering, and that's how I came to know about this. It was my dad who suggested me on biomedical engineering, and I ended up looking on colleges, and MSc was one of the best colleges, and that's how I ended up. So it was on my choice that I ended up in biomedical engineering.
Okay, so after completing B.Tech and MS and currently working in USA. So what do you feel after all this journey?
It's basically one of the emerging engineering field, I would say, because there is a lot happening in the biomedical industry. So it's really a very good option for those who are, pursuing an engineering career or looking forward to work on something that's related to medicine as well as in engineering. So it's all about the touch of all the engineering field, I would say. If you want to go into a mechanical side, we have like biomechanical field. If you're interested in coding, we have like imaging side or coding of that. So it's basically a very unique engineering field. So it's really great and fun.
Yeah, exactly. So before moving further, I think many biomedical engineering students will be watching these, those who are planning higher studies. So compared to India, so you moved from India to USA. So how do you feel the difference, first of all? So I just want to know the difference so we can move further with the questions.
Is it difference on the coursework or like what kind of difference?
Yeah, maybe you did your B.Tech in biomedical engineering in India and later you did MS in USA. So let it be the academia or the support you are receiving or the job opportunities, whatever the difference you have feel.
Yeah, so as I told you, like biomedical is already an emerging field. So currently, I don't think we have a lot of research and development or R&D jobs in India for the biomedical field, but over US it's like pretty high. And on the coursework, doing an MS is obviously like very track oriented. So you can be specific on what all subjects you choose. So rather than in B.Tech, we have a specific syllabus. We go through all the initial or all the subjects which we don't like. We don't have to take it. But over here, when it comes in, you can choose your subjects.
Yeah, I understood. So I think I will start with the question. So probably the first question, how to plan for higher studies? In my understanding, it is not in the final year we should plan for higher studies. Exactly, maybe we have to look after the CGPA or backlog history, or maybe our projects or internships. So how do you feel? How a student has to prepare, or when he has to start preparing for higher studies?
So I would say around like third year maybe. So CGPA is one of the main factors. So you need to. I wouldn't say like a very high CGPA, like a 9-pointer or something, but above 7.5 would be good. Like write away all the backlogs papers if you have any, so that you don't have to wait after the graduation to write the supplies. So once you're in third year, you can start preparing for GRE, because preparing for GRE is actually a very long process, I would say, because you need to build up the vocabulary, you need to have the speed in doing the analytic problems and things like that. So you can start preparing on all these. If you are planning, so I was a 2018 graduate and I joined for master's in 2019. So I had like a 1-year gap. So if I was supposed to join in 2018 itself, I would have actually planned a year before. So I actually planned it after my graduation. So that was kind of like I had a 1-year gap. So if you don't...
I understood. You had 1-year gap. So in my understanding, you have some work experience as well before joining for masters. So yes. I just want to ask about that as well. If we have some work experience, it will give any added weightage to get an admission?
It's not about added weightage on the admission, but once you're looking for a job, you can just showcase your skills or expertise on that. So rather than education, experience, what I had was like just a 6-month experience, but it was pretty good. But I have my friends with 6-year experience, and also they might have a very, very good advantage on their admissions. But with the 6 months internships, I could just say that I just developed my coding skills, or I learned on machine learning and things like that. So when I apply for a job, I can.
Yeah. Okay. So I think now we can discuss about the admission process. So what are the things, for example, the requirement like GRE or TOEFL? I'm not sure about the different requirements, so you know much better. So can you just speak about that? What are the basic requirements? How we have to apply, all those kind of things?
Yeah. So basically, most of the colleges require GRE and TOEFL, but there are universities that does not require GRE too. So you can just search on whether the university require GRE or not. And if you're not planning to write a GRE, you can just opt for those colleges. So all the admission deadlines and everything will be posted on their websites. So, and what I basically did was that once I wrote the GRE and TOEFL, it almost like 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get the results. And one of the advantage of GRE and TOEFL is that you can apply for 4 colleges for free with no cost when you write the GRE and TOEFL exam. So after GRE, once you write the GRE exam, once you get the results, you can apply for 4 colleges. And even for TOEFL also, before the writing TOEFL exam, you can actually apply for 4 colleges. So that's how the GRE and TOEFL is structured.
So just for my understanding, so we have to select the colleges while writing GRE itself, or we can choose later? How it is?
So it's basically that we need to have a list of colleges that we are planning to apply. So GRE is basically like we have a quant session, we have a analytical session, and we have a writing session. So once you're done with the exam, right, like then and there you will get the result for the quant and the analytical session. Just the writing session, you'll get the marks later. So once you know what you have, like how many marks you've got, you can actually apply for colleges then and there for free.
Okay. So
afterwards.
Okay, so have you approached any agencies, or you directly applied through their website? How was the process?
I actually did everything myself. It's pretty easy procedure if you're very dedicated on this. Like if I would prefer like personally applying yourself, but if you have if you're doing a job and all, and then parallelly you're applying, you can just go for some agencies. I think there are agencies that do this. I'm not sure about the fees or whether they do it for free.
I just want to know how you did it. So we can do it ourselves if we can.
Yeah, we can do it ourselves. There's no much very big thing happening. It's just that you need to be careful. You can just ask around people who have already done this, get their advice, and it's pretty simple.
Okay, once we are GRE is done and we shortlisted some colleges, then what would be the next procedure we have to do?
So the next procedure would be like waiting until they give you an acceptance letter. Okay. So once you have a letter from them, you apply for the visa. You take in the visa interviews. You have like 2 interviews, one for the biometric and the other one. And once the visa is accepted, you get your visa and you book the tickets.
Okay, so again, I have heard about the professor recommendation or writing ourselves, something like that. What about that?
Yeah, so basically, when you apply for the admissions, basically it's like you need to submit your GRE, TOEFL. You need to submit your transcripts. So transcripts is basically your mark list. And then you have to submit your SOP with statement of purpose, where you write about yourself. You write about why you choose this biomedical field, or what all you've done in your all the engineering years, or why you choose this university, things like that. And you have LOR, which is letter of recommendation. So usually colleges prefer 3 letter of recommendations. So it's a combination of all these that decides whether the college accepts you or not.
Okay, from where we can get this letter of recommendation? From our faculties or from our work side, or how it is?
Yeah, so I basically prefer professors who have actually taught you. And if you have a very good experience too, you can keep your managers or supervisors who describes how good you're at work, how your personality and things like that.
So, as per your experience, what would be you recommend to the biomedical engineering students to stand out from others? So, what are the things we can do?
So, I would say do something on the project side. So, after studying masters, it's obviously getting a job. So, within the 2 years, you need to improve your skills and you need to showcase your abilities. So it needs to start from obviously around 3rd year, so that you can start doing some projects and do some good internships. You can learn something good, which is very trending. So right now, it's machine learning, things like that. So try learning some new things, either do online courses.
Okay, what are the internship you recommend? Usually biomedical engineers do internship in hospitals or companies, or also in maybe, I think you have done in IIT Madras, right? Mm-hmm. So what kind of internship would be preferred in when we are going for higher studies? Everything is equally important, or something more weightage is given? How it is?
So it depends upon what you actually need or what your interests are. So I was mainly into coding and things like that. So I preferred, I did my internship in IIT, and I was actually very happy that I got that internship. So it depends upon what basically you want. So if you want really into the mechanical side, or if you want to work on the hospital equipment, obviously maybe a hospital internship might
Okay, so
would
what
be
were
good.
you doing at your internship at IIT Madras? You were working on a
So we
project.
were, so we were developing a machine learning model. We were mimicking the automatic driver system. So that was, I was just a very small part of it, but it was actually nice. I learned more about the machine learning, all the convolution neural networks and things like that.
So
And
how
I
you
actually learned
applied for
coding
the
in Python.
internship?
So it was through their website. I think during all these summers, all these IITs and VIT, everything might have their own labs
Okay.
websites, and they would have posted their internships, and
Yeah.
that's how you apply.
Okay, good to know. I just want to, probably people will be interested in that as well. So I just want to ask that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next process would be the different universities and courses available. So can you just suggest some of the best universities that you may have shortlisted or the different courses you have gone through?
So I actually don't remember. So UTA was one of my first choice because I have known a lot of people who have already studied there, and I know what's happening in UTA. So that's why UTA was obviously my first choice. Other than that, there are a lot of very good colleges like Arizona State University, Johns Hopkins, and things like that. Like there are lots of very good universities. So I don't want to point out a single university or just a few universities, but it all depends upon the living cost or the everything as compared, whether you get a very good score on the GRE or whether you can afford it, things like that. So
how we can shortlist this university? So you are telling there are many universities. So is there any way we can find out which one is better, or it is based on the courses offering, or is there any other factors we have to look into?
So what I basically did was that I was looking for medical imaging track. So over here, if I say that it's Master of Engineering, I'm specialized in medical imaging. So that's how it goes. So I actually looked for universities which has medical imaging as their tracks or specialization, and I got down a list on that. Then I looked for the expenses, the the course fee and things like that, and then I shortlisted to around 7 to 8 colleges. So first of all, I would say, what is your interest in, whether that university has that field of specialization is what you need to look into. Then obviously you have a lot of websites. I think Study Abroad or Shiksha, I don't remember, but there are websites where you can compare a different university on their rankings, on their course structure and course fee and things like that.
Okay. Good to know. So what are the different courses in your knowledge that we can opt in US?
Different courses for biomedical?
Yeah, of course.
Is it if it's a different tracks?
What are the options we are having? Just like in India, we say this as course. So it is tracked there, or how it is?
So if I'm I am a biomedical engineer, that's what I was telling. I'm a biomedical engineering specialized in medical imaging. So similarly, we are at UTA, we had biomechanics, neural engineering, tissue engineering. I think that was it. So each track has different courses, which we need to, as a requirement, we need to take it so that we can graduate.
Okay, good to know. So regarding the scholarships available, of course, expense is a major part. So many, even I received a query whether it is affordable for middle class students. Okay, so financial matter is a big thing. So about the different scholarships available, even is there any fully funded universities in USA?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
I don't think, I don't know about that.
So what are the scholarships? Have you received any scholarship, or have you applied any, or how it is?
So I actually received a scholarship. So I actually didn't apply for it, but my department actually gave me the scholarship. So
good to know.
It's basically, I think it's basically because of the CGPA. So I didn't actually apply for it. So I got the scholarship for the first year, and I have actually applied for the second year too, but I didn't get it. But if I think most of the universities, once you are into the first year, you can work as a research assistant or as a teaching assistantship. You can work like that. So once you're into RA or TA jobs, you can get into the in-state tuition fees, which is pretty almost like half of the international students.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are suggesting different scholarship that we can apply, is there anything you can, even before applying for the course itself, we can look into that, or we can just search if you have any suggestions?
So what I think is it's all the university based. Okay. So I don't know about the scholarship that I can apply before the application.
Okay, so I just want to know what is the usual process.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, so it is basically that the university providing the scholarship, right?
So in my case, it was a university that gave me the scholarship, but there are lots of scholarship in their like scholarship website page. You can actually apply for a lot of scholarships. So they have a lot of scholarships. Okay. So you can just apply for it.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, when going to the coursework, what are the different subjects or the project you have done or the internship you are doing along with your course? What are the basic details? Can you just explain about that?
So coursework, so I did medical imaging. So it was basically image processing, signal processing. We also had a course on human anatomy and physiology, which was kind of a requirement. We have a course list from which we can actually choose on, but we have a few requirements also. For example, like we need to choose like 3 of the biomedical core courses, 2 of max courses, things like that. So you can actually choose around, or if you're interested in something on a different field, you can actually choose if you are able to do that. So I did a cognitive process course, which was actually a psych course on my last semester, which is actually interesting to know more about the brain and things like that. So you can actually select the courses you want. So
okay,
so it's very flexible.
Okay, so how many courses, how many subjects in each semester, or how it is usually?
So UTA actually needs 30 credits to complete the masters. So it's like 3 courses per semester. So according to our visa status, we need to have 3 courses. So other than the last semester, it's like 1 course. So it's like 3, 3, 3 and 1. So 10 subjects basically. Okay. So I think that also, I don't think that changes on different universities, but that would change if you're taking a thesis. So basically you can have a thesis and a non-thesis on masters. So thesis is like project based, where you have a lesser number of credit or higher number of credit. I'm not pretty sure. I did non-thesis, so I didn't have to do any project or things like that. It was just mainly coursework.
Okay. So have you done any projects, or it is optional, or how it is?
It's optional. So you can either choose whether you need a thesis or non-thesis. So if you choose a thesis, you need to work under a professor, you need to submit. It's kind of a mini PhD where I think you need to take your defense and things like that. You need to present your project and things like that.
When we are doing our B.Tech, it is mandatory to do a major project, right?
Final project, yeah. You don't have to do that over here. It's purely coursework. So you might have projects or paper presentations for each course, but not as a big project or things like that.
Okay. So when I did my last session on higher studies option in Canada, so I it is like open exams, open book exams. So is it similar in USA as well, or how it is?
That actually depends upon the professors, whether you have an open book exam or closed book. I have friends who had they would just give you the questions and you have like a full day or 24 hours to submit the exam. I mean, submit the answers.
I would opt for that college.
Yeah, so that is really nice because you are pretty flexible. You can just it's not like you need to by heart everything and throw off in the exam hall. No, so that's pretty chill. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool in every other part.
No, I just want to understand one more thing. I would definitely go for that. Okay. So the thing is, what I want to know is if students are much serious about studying subjects, or they are just taking an advantage, or how it is usually the.
It depends, I would say, because it's not upon the final exam that you need to work on, because you'll have like homeworks and assignments every week, so you can't just pile up everything on the end of the semester and do everything, because you'll be pretty piled up with works and every week. So
and one more thing, I think plagiarism is much issue there. Then we have to be very serious about the project, assignments we are doing, or how.
Yeah, so it's pretty. I would say it's very offensive if you do.
Yeah,
if you get caught on the. Yeah, if you get caught on the plagiarism checker, because once we submit itself it's an online platform, so if you submit itself, there is a plagiarism check that's happening. I mean, certain professors, they do that, and if it's like above some percentage, they'll just cut your marks. So plagiarism is very.
Okay. So regarding, have you done internship along with your course? How it was?
Yeah, I was not able to do that because of COVID. And so what I basically did was that I was working as a voluntary research assistant in two of my professor's lab. So not simultaneously, but I actually initially worked on one of the professors on signal processing, but due to COVID, we ended up being everybody in home. So later on, after one of the medical imaging subjects, I asked another professor, and she let me in, and I was working on under that professor. So over there, I was mainly developing a graphical user interface using MATLAB. For her, she was mainly dealing with EEG data and a few signal processing and EEG data. So that was pretty good.
So in my understanding, we can do internship in our university as well. And what are the different opportunities we are having?
So internships, so the working under professors is actually good because you'll get a hands-on experience. So basically internship itself is very good because you get a hands-on experience. So either you can go for that, or you have companies that offer summer internships, or the research institutions. So the Barrow Research Institute, when I started working over there, it was around mid of July. So we had summer interns over there. At the final end of their week, they were presenting all the work they were doing, and they were presenting the posters and things like that. So you have research institutes or companies or even universities that offer internships. So
Okay. So about the expense part, I was talking earlier about that. So what would be the average expense to do a master's in US? For example, the course fee or the living expense, maybe accommodation expense, all those kind of things.
So it actually depends upon the state that you're choosing. So Texas is pretty normal. So it's not that expensive. But if you go to New York, California, somewhere, it's pretty expensive.
Okay, so on an average basis, for example, in my understanding, maybe 1 year around 14 lakhs. That's what I understood when I had a discussion last time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually go for loans when you choose. So you have a lot of the SBA and all. You have to you have options for taking loans. But I didn't actually take the loans because I got the scholarship on the first year, and I was okay with the second year also. But I actually was planning to take a scholarship from HDFC Credila. I didn't know because I actually opted for that because we didn't have to keep any assets for the HDFC credit lab. But the interest rate was pretty high. But yeah. So yeah.
So how's the payback and all? I think it is huge amount if you are taking the loan. So how long we can take time to pay it back, or is there any policy like
Pay
that?
it back. I think we can start pay it back once we complete our masters, and I don't know how long because I haven't taken a loan, so I don't know how it works or how many months or how many years it takes.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard that you can repay it back once you graduate. From then it starts for 3 years or something. I don't know.
Okay. And about the expense part itself, there are many people doing part-time job as well. Okay. So how many hours we can work in a week, or how we can approach for a part-time job?
So basically, it's we can work on campus jobs, that is legal, but you can actually work outside of campus jobs also, but that's illegal. But I know people working off campus jobs also. But so we can work 20 hours per week as per our visa status. So yeah, so that's it. So on campus jobs, I think you can just go and contact the managers or things, people who are inside the campus. You can work at the library, or the cafeteria, or the administration department.
So we can manage to get the living expense by working part time, or is that enough, or it is more than that?
Yeah, it's kind of a pocket money. I wouldn't say you can live with the money that you get, because it's a very basic pay. So when I worked, I was actually paid 8 hours per hour. So I ended up kind of like I can chill out with that money. I can just go out and eat. Things like that. I can buy a dress for myself. Okay. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, anywhere is possible to do part-time job, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, just want to make it clear. So even the visa process after completing the course, I think that's also very important. Maybe getting permanent residency, or what are the different possibilities, or what are the things we have to do?
So once you're looking for a job, people do look for a job with sponsors us for H1B. So H1B is a job visa. So we come here as a student visa, which is F1. And once we get a job, and if the company sponsors us, our visa status moves from F1 to H1B. So according to our visa, we have like 5-year visa. So it's like 2 years of coursework and 3 years of training, or the work visa. I mean, we can work for 3 years.
Okay, once we completed, we can step back up to 3 years, right? With the visa we are having.
Yeah. Yes.
So by that time, we should be able to get another visa for work permit, or how it is?
Yes. So within the 3 years, our company should sponsor us so that we can stay in US after that.
Okay, so we have to be in medical device company itself, or any job. Even when I had a session on the Canada, so it was like, if we have a decent job, I think B category, some categories are there. If we have a job in that segment, we will get a visa. So it is not mandatory to work in biomedical segment alone. For the sake of staying back there, we just have
you just need a job. It's not like that in US. You need to work in something that's related to your field. That's really mandatory. So before you find a job, you can just ask what I did was I just asked one of my professors to whether I can work in his lab as a volunteer, so that I can just stop my OPT period. So that's really complicated. So once you graduate, your clock starts. So within 90 days, you need to find a job. So that's how it goes. So if you didn't find a job, you will be kicked out from US. So you have a 90 days clock time.
I think that would be a very crucial time for every graduate. Right?
Yes. So I think you have a EAD card, which is a work permit card that you get after doing some document work and all. So only if you get the EAD card, you can start working. Or from the date on the EAD card is issued, you can start working. So from the date onwards, you have 90 days to find a job. And within the time frame, you need to find a job and you need to update the USCIS website saying that you are doing a job and you can just stop your clock.
Okay. So how was your experience of this after completing your graduation to get into a job?
So,
How was your feeling?
yes, I actually started looking for a job like way before because I was really worried because of COVID. The job market was really dull. But by the time of January, the opportunities were actually rising. And I got like around like 30 interviews. Obviously, I actually got 30 interviews. I applied for a lot, more than 500, 700.
So how was the application process? You directly applied through their website or connected through LinkedIn? How was the
I
process?
did mostly all the ways. So I applied through websites. I applied through LinkedIn, Indeed, Handshake.
What was the most effective platform, if you suggest?
I think in LinkedIn and Indeed was pretty good.
Okay.
So I even tried getting email IDs and I mailed them personally. A few of them got back. Most we don't get a reply, but I tried most of all the ways of getting a job.
Okay,
And,
so regarding job only, I just want to know the different opportunities. Maybe where your classmates are working. Currently, you are working in a company. So, can you just specify your position that you are working right now?
So my position is a research data engineer, and it's a research institute. So it's affiliated with St. Joseph's Hospital. So it's kind of a hospital and a research institute combined. So we have like patients from the hospitals that come to the clinical trials. We get data from them. So it's a research institute. You can either work on research institute. You have opportunities on from the universities. You have like companies. You have startups. So you have got
what are the range of job category if you have to anything to suggest? For example, maybe design engineer, maybe research engineer. What are the possibilities? What usually we do in India, mostly people work in hospital. That is the most common thing we see. So I just want to know what are the different segments biomedical engineers are working there after completing MS.
So we have hospitals too over here if you want to work as a clinical engineer, or you have like research engineer happening, design engineer. So that all depends upon what you actually wanted to do or what your field of interests are. So I was mainly into coding and things like that. So I actually preferred being a data engineer and research engineer.
Okay, so you are telling opportunities are there and we have wide variety of options available, right?
Yes.
Okay, so regarding the salary aspect, what would be the average salary we can expect after completing our masters?
That also depends upon, I think, states. I don't know, because the base pay or what I was thinking was that it was 35,000 was the base pay, but I know a friend who gets even less. So I don't know what's the minimum pay what a master's student would get, but I think 30 to 45 is the
average pay we can expect.
Average pay, I think so. I'm not. I didn't have a research on this. I just
want to get some rough idea on that. So even people will be interested on that. And one more thing, one of the I do get many queries on the possibility to work there after completing biomedical engineering. Here, I'm not talking about masters doing the people always looking to migrate to US, right? Many people are interested too. It is a dream place, of course, USA. So what is the possibility for that?
I think it's really hard to get opportunity like that because one thing is that the company has to sponsor you to come over here. So if you come here as a student visa, you at least have 3 years to find a job and to show them that you are good for the company or you are one of the best person to work with so that the company can sponsor you. So sponsoring you means the company has to dedicate a lot of money on you.
Yeah.
So without knowing that, the company really, the company is company.
Yeah,
The company is
the only option you are suggesting company has to offer a visa, right?
Yeah, so that's the only way you can do that. Or else you need to find US citizens and marry and then come as a spouse
That's also
visa.
possible. Great.
Yeah.
Someone will find that way as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was your overall life, maybe compared to India? So how was your overall experience as a student there?
It is very different from what we have in India. So one of the main thing I would say is that like very basic is a library. So I haven't stepped into the MEC library, I don't think so. But over here, like during the semester exams and all, like 24 hours we were in library, we were studying. It was really fun hanging out in the library. Even the environment itself is very different, and also culture-wise, also it's very different. So it just opens our eye with a lot of experience, just a very new dimension we look through. We go through a lot of circumstances and things like that. So it's pretty good, very new experience. Very
okay. How's the experience studying with different students from maybe different countries?
Yeah, so that's also a very good experience. Okay, so I have like worked with one few of China, Iraq, Iran. I had a friend from Iran. So everybody is very different. Their culture is different. They are also very interested in Indian culture. We just hang around. It's actually very interesting to know about them, their life, and things like that. So, but in UTA we have like most of Indians, but still we could find a lot of different cultures also. So
Okay.
that's also pretty nice.
Okay, I think women will be concerned about the safety aspect as well. So even maybe what is the difference you feel in India and USA?
In the universities, I would say you have access to, there are buses or certain facilities to drop off to your apartment if you live close by. So that is not safety is not a very concern, I would say. And also, anytime you can just call the police 911, they are super fast. So I don't think.
Yeah, I just want to ask that. So it is very comfortable to study there, right?
Yes. I have not ever been felt uncomfortable. So
yeah,
it was pretty good for me. Yeah.
Good to know. And regarding the work experience, maybe some seniority or how's the giving respect or taking respect? How's your overall experience working as an engineer there?
Yeah, it's very different from what you have in India. So you don't have a very superior, it's like, or a hierarchy in here. Everybody is equal. So it's just that we need to be open. We need to discuss everything. I just have one of the best boss. So he's very sweet. He's very encouraging. So everybody over there. So it's just like 5 people in my lab, but everybody is very supportive. Being a new person, they all really help me on getting to know more, getting to introduce me to all the softwares. So I really had a very good time, and I think every American companies or Americans are really very welcoming.
Yeah, so even one of the interesting part was they do respect all the job, irrespective of the position. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's really nice because I think people over here, the Americans, they start earning at the age of like 16, because I used to have a friend. I have a friend who was working with me. So she just worked with me for like 4 o'clock, and she was like, I'm an Uber driver. I need to go now. So people go as an Uber driver or work on the Chick-fil-A or KFC, McD, and they do as a part-time job, and they earn and they study at the same time. So they actually consider every job as equal and they respect.
And even one of the other part was interesting part was they don't limit their age. They study whenever they wish to. Is that true?
Yeah, kind of. But I think these days Indians are also like that, because I have a friend of mine. He is like, he's married and he has like 3 kids or something, and he just came here for doing his master's. So even with such a responsibility on his shoulders, he just came to do masters.
That's
so
great.
that's pretty.
Okay, and one more last question. What about the PhD opportunities or starting our own company in USA? If you suggest something.
I am not pretty sure in starting our own company, because I have not heard about that. Maybe you need to do a lot of research work. But I think Charu might know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So about doing PhD, you can actually continue your master's to PhD or convert your master's into PhD. So that is one of the options. And also, if you wanted, you can actually directly apply for PhD rather than doing a master's. So you can have that option also. So you don't have to do a master's. So once you're applying, you can apply for a PhD, not for the master's. So you don't have to do a master's. You can directly apply for PhD.
So we just need B.Tech degree to do PhD?
Yeah. Even I didn't know that, but I have like 2 of my friends doing PhD after doing their B.Tech. So it's possible.
So the duration would be based on our project work, or how it is? Is there any specific timeline?
I think it's like 5 years. It depends upon your project, obviously. But anyways, minimum of 4 years would be there, I guess. So even after master's also you can continue. So if you're doing a thesis work, you can actually continue that thesis work into your PhD, one of the PhD aim, and you can continue on the same college. Or if you wanted, I think your GRE is valid for like 5 years. So within the visa ends, you can apply for another college with the same GRE score, and you can apply for again a PhD, so that you can extend your visa as a student visa again.
That's also possible.
If you don't get a H1B, if you don't get a sponsorship, you can take that option too. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. I think we have covered almost all the questions I had.
Okay.
So is there any suggestions to the viewers, those who are planning higher studies?
Plan a year before. If you're planning, like as I told, if you're planning for coming fall, you need to plan 1 year before. Jot down all the universities of what you need. I understand that you might not have an aim, or you might not know what you want to do, but that's fine, because when you're applying for the job or when you're applying for the university, you don't have to decide on the track, because once you're accepted and once you're into that university, you need to take in which track you wanted to do. So it's fine that you don't know about which specific field you need to go. So yeah, just plan accordingly and don't miss the deadlines. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think we have discussed all the important aspects. And it was great having you today with me. So hope it will find useful to many people, those who are planning higher studies. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, then bye.
Yeah, bye.